Hey there. I see someone has given me a thumbs up and I haven't even started. I don't know how that can be. So I'm a little late. I've been trying to figure out how to make my lives go more landscape rather than portrait. And I used to be able to do it, but now I can't do it. And I don't know what's up with that. So because I want it to be nice, like if you're watching from your iPad or from your computer or television. Yeah. Anyway, so if you are new here, hello. My name is Stevie Lynn, and I make a lot of impromptu, healthy but comfy plant-based foods here with like whatever I have on hand, like whatever I have in the pantry. There's always like some kind of substitution that I need to do. Um, so I do that a lot on this channel. Mostly I cook, but I also sometimes have like fashion shows based on like things that I've thrifted or things that I've had in my closet for a while. Um, yeah, um, that's my vibe. A little crunchy, kind of sustainable. I'm also a Sigma grandma, which means basically that Sigma as in lone wolf. So basically, I'm an old lone wolf. I do what I want. you know, I I'm very intentional about things, and um, I'm very also intentional about just filtering out all the social noise that is just not um, not going to lead me, you know, on the right path and all that stuff. Very love driven too. So today we are going to be celebrating President Carter's life. It was his funeral today, and I thought it would be nice to make a peanut soup since he was a peanut farmer, and then also I decided to make some other sides to go with it that are perfectly paired with peanut soup. So we're going to have a whole meal tonight. We're going to chat a little bit about Carter, President Carter, because we have to roast some vegetables, and that's going to take a while. So while we're doing that, we're going to talk about Carter. I President Carter, I need to show some respect, right? So to get started, we're going to need to get the vegetables roasted, and what we are going to be roasting is fennel. We're going to be roasting some fennel root and some shallots with a little thyme, and we're going to be having that over sweet potatoes. Um, so we got to get that started. We got to get our sweet potato going. Um, I thought I got everything prepared. It's always like that. I found it. I found my sweet potato. So we need to punch holes in the sweet potato so it doesn't explode in the oven. We already have the oven set at 400. Um, so it's just, well, no, I'm good. I've got some impression. I'm gonna hurt my finger. I'm gonna hurt my fingers, aren't I? Okay, so and then we're just gonna wrap this in foil, put it aside, and we also have to soak our cashews because we're gonna be using cashew cream for the creaminess of the peanut soup. So like technically it's nut soup. Let me go get some hot water. So I got a cup of cashews and I'm just putting in kind of a random amount of hot water. Um, uh, let's get this out of the way. So, like I said, we're going to be roasting some fennel and shallots, and we're going to, oh, I need another pan. I got this pan out but I need a pan with a lid. So we're gonna do everything in this pan with a lid. I'm a little like frazzled now because I wanted to get here at 5 o'clock, but I spend so much time alone here that I forget, like in terms of like when I'm managing my time, that when I go out in the real world, I actually have to deal with people, and people are like thick. They're hard to get through. People are viscous, lots of friction, especially uh, at 4 o'clock. And I also went to Walmart because I'm tired of using these headphones. And we're just gonna trim the bottom here. I'm tired of using these headphones. So I got an adapter with a microphone adapter for my new phone to go with the USB-C. Well, the thing is that we're the we're going from analog to digital, and um and that's what my husband said. And he's like, so I guess I needed a specific adapter, which I had already ordered on Amazon, but I just thought, well, maybe for the purposes of this live, I could get something quick, like right now. So I talked to the kid at Walmart, and he's like, yes, this is the adapter you need. I'm like, yeah, but and he's like, it's really cheap. Like Apple just, charges too much. This is cheap. It's $4. It will work. Don't worry about Apple. And I was like, yeah, but will it convert the analog to the digital? And he's like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But no, 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 no. It does not. So we're back to the headphones. And he like, my hair is gonna come over. Pretty soon I'm gonna look like my Weimaraner dogs. But next time I think we go live, I'll probably have that adapter because it's coming from Amazon. So I'm just gonna, what I did was I trimmed off the stalk, get a little bit more of the frond off. I trimmed off the stalk, trimmed off any brown spots, and we're just gonna I'm gonna cut it one more. So I do it like this. And I've got about 3 fennel bulbs because I love it so much. I think this is so tasty when it's roasted. It's just the best. Oh, these are the onions for the, leave those alone. Those are the onions for the soup, which I didn't get to doing. I didn't prep that because I was running late. Traffic, the thickness of people, all that. Okay, so we're just going to throw some shallots in the description box below. I said big shallots cut in half, but I couldn't find big shallots at the store, so we're doing little shallots just like that. We're just going to leave them this way. And actually, we don't need to put them in now. We're actually going to wait because shallots don't cook as long as a fennel. Okay, so I got notes here. We'll get those prepared. So another thing that we're going to be having with the peanut soup, and the peanut soup is actually adapted from a recipe from the King's Arms Tavern in Colonial Williamsburg. It's a recipe of the women who started that restaurant way back in the like late 1700s, like at the time of the Revolution. And it's a soup that Thomas Jefferson probably ate. but we're making it plant-based. And I've made the original soup before, so I know how it tastes. I recently went on the website though and discovered that uh, like I saw like the original recipe and it said that it had carrots. So I'm actually adding carrots to the recipe. I never did that before. Um, but we're gonna try it today because it said that carrots were in it. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so we got the fennel bulbs, and we got a little thing of thyme that we're putting in here, and we're gonna. We got the sweet potato that's already wrapped. We're gonna put about 2 tablespoons. That's a lot. It's a celebration of President Carter's life. I know this is not crazy a lot. Like if you're in a restaurant, you would use like even probably more oil. That's why restaurant food tastes so good. It's because it's got a lot of fat in it. Now, I should little salt. Mix it up, and I'm gonna put it in the oven for. I'm gonna put that potato right next to it. So put it in there for about 15 minutes, and then we're gonna add the shallots. Oh, and I didn't cover it. We have to cover it. Where is my brain? Oh, as I was saying, in addition to the fennel and the shallots that will go over the sweet potato, which we're sharing. It's just one sweet potato. I'm using a murasaki, which is a Japanese sweet potato. It will taste a lot like a chestnut. They're so good. Um, but in addition to that, I'm going to do some fried apples. Now, I went to the store to get some specific things that I just didn't have. So this time we're not just doing things out of my pantry, but because I wanted the peanut soup to be right. So I was missing like celery and carrots. I went to the store to get celery and carrots. And then I thought, oh, you know what? Roasted dates are really good. So I was going to do fried apples with roasted dates and cardamom and like cinnamon. I thought that sounded really good. I forgot the stinking date. Roasted dates are so good, and I'm bummed that we're not going to be having those. But I think we'll be okay. I think I might actually put some cherries in it, like apples and cherries, like super sweet cherries. I just have frozen cherries. Um, that's usually what I get, or I usually just get like frozen fruit because it's really good and it's less expensive, and also it's not cherry season. So yeah, so we're gonna be doing fried apples and cherries with some spices. And we're gonna put these aside, the fronds, because these are gonna decorate our food. I've got carrots and celery. So now we're gonna be making the soup right now. We're making the soup. So I got carrots and celery. This is about 2 carrots. I actually use baby carrots, but it's about 2 carrots, two like medium small carrots, and two celery ribs. And now we're gonna make. I have to chop some onions. I meant to do this before, but like I said, I ran out of time. Going for the crowds of people to get the things that I needed in life. I just never. I just I just forget people. I forget that people are gonna throw up roadblocks. I try really hard not to be in people's way because I know that there are people out there like me who, have a little ADHD, and they're panicking because they're not very good at time management, and um, and all the things that makes it so we're always panicking and rushing, and it doesn't even matter if I'm on time. I'm still panicking and rushing. I still have that like sense of anxiety. Nuts. Okay. So in the original recipe, they cook the vegetables in the broth, and then they strain everything. And for that reason, they also kind of really grated the carrots and made the vegetables really small. But we have modern appliances. We have like an immersion blender. We have an immersion blender. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about making sure my onion is super small, making sure everything's finely chopped, because I don't have to. Because we're going to blend it anyway. So, okay, so I have my Dutch oven set to medium low. I'm going to go medium low. The thing is with these, because it has the white ceramic, it's going to conduct heat, but it's not going to get it's going to get really hot, and it's going to keep the heat. So um, you don't actually have to you don't want it too hot because it's already going to get hot and keep the heat and maintain the heat. I said like the light color. I don't know why I mentioned that. I mean, it's going to maintain the heat, but it's not going to really get like we're not searing anything. So you don't need that kind of hot sear. Whatever. Whatever. Where is everybody? There's nobody here. Is it because everybody's on their way home from work? Put a little bit, let that heat up. And so this recipe takes a lot of peanut butter. It's also very simple. Like, this is not an African peanut stew. This is a very simple peanut soup. It's savory and it is so good. Um, and you don't want to add anything. You just want it to let it be what it is. You don't want to complicate it. Um, so it takes 2 cups of peanut butter. Yes, it's full of fat and unctuousness, which is about this is about 16 ounces. And um, and for the base, I'm using cashew cream, and I'm going to use some plain yogurt, plain plant-based yogurt. I really like this because it's like cultured plant-based yogurt, and that like the cultured tang and funkiness is really good. It gives kind of a umami flavor, some depth. So I really like that. So we're going to be adding a little bit of this to it. And I mentioned the cashew cream, so it's just peanuts, these vegetables, onions, just put it all in there. I need to point you in the direction of onions, celery, and carrot. And I already screwed up. I already screwed up. We were supposed to put butter in there, not olive oil. I'm gonna put a little bit both. I like that. I'm using Mioko's plant milk butter. I really like it. It's very tasty. Um, and I think cashews themselves are already buttery, so it's okay if you don't do butter, plant-based butter at all. If you want to be like even healthier and not really have any processed. I mean, olive oil is processed, but it's it's cleanly processed, whereas Yoko's has like coconut oil, which has saturated fat, not so great for you. Um, and well, basically, it just has it has some sunflower oil. I don't know how you feel about seed oils. I'm okay with a little bit. Someone's here. Oh, my husband's here. Okay. And when I have the headphones on, I cannot actually hear the sizzle of this so much because of the noise cancellation. So we're just gonna saute this for a little bit, and then we're gonna pour in about 8 cups of water, and some bouillon. But I need to take a half a cup of water out because I am making a slurry with cornstarch. So while this is happening, let's make our slurry. Yeah. Okay. Do it in here. Yeah. Did you just see where I put the cornstarch? It's right here. It's right there, Stevie, right in front of you. Okay. Half a cup. Hello. How are you? Look how handsome you look. Oh, you're on candy camera. Oh. Okay, let me get some water. Oh, actually, that's hot water. We don't need hot water. Like very few people have shown up today. I don't know why. Maybe it's just too much during rush hour. Hello, say hello. Say hello if you're here. Okay, making a slurry. This is about a cup of cornstarch, half a cup of water. This is gonna thicken our soup. I'm blending it. I'm mixing it all up right now, but you know what? It's going to separate again. I'm gonna have to do that again. So I'm worried about it too much. And okay, so this looks pretty good. Give you hello. That was fun, wasn't it? You went for a ride. Okay. Okay. Well, that didn't work out very well, did it? Okay, so we're now going to put some water in here. We want about 7.5 cups. 4, 6, that's good. And we'll just let Just cook for a little bit, and we need the bouillon. So with bouillon, you need about a teaspoon per cup. That is about 2 tablespoons if you're going to do it with 8 cups. So that's about 2 tablespoons right here. And I'm going to put in a little pepper. So this is not just pepper, it's actually black cumin and pepper. And I just grind the two together and put it in like my savory dishes. Black cumin is really healthy. It's good for your heart. There's some studies that show that for some people, it's as good as a statin. I'm not a doctor. Please, this is not medical advice. The cumin itself is pretty, the black cumin, which is not cumin, it's Nigella sativa, completely different plant, but it does have a very slight kind of cuminy onion kind of flavor. It's not overwhelming. So, um, so yeah, like just a teaspoon. I think it's a half a teaspoon a day, according to Dr. Greger, can do so much, according to him. Like the potential is, I'm not being a doctor. I'm just saying, like there's a potential there for you. And okay, mix your slurry up, get it in there. This will thicken our soup. And we're going to increase this a little bit to about medium. And let me get out. Okay, so we have our fennel, a lovely fennel. It's been in there for 15 minutes. Now we're going to throw in some our shallots and cover that back up. Put it in there. I need some, I want some, I want some pepper flake in there though. I don't have red pepper flake, but I do have green chili pepper flake. So we're going to use that. I think it will be great. My husband is like crawling all over the house trying to get around my studio here. I often put a lot of spice on things. That's just how we do things here. Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello? No. Okay, I can't move you around. This is not working. It's not working. This whole moving you around thing is not working. You're not like my camera. Okay. Okay, this is getting to be ridiculous. This is getting to be a little crazy. Okay. Hello, two people. Okay, so we were. I keep trying to move you over so I can show you what I'm doing on this side of the kitchen, and you keep. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put some pepper flake. Just, you just if you're doing this yourself, put as much as you want because this is highly subjective. I do not have a baby mouth. My husband and I lived in New Mexico for a very long time. Oh, and we are like for a long time. So we are we adapted to green chili and all that. Okay, so I need to blend the cashews. So this is about, I'm gonna take out some. Well, no, this is good. It's one cup of cashews to 1 cup of water, and it's not gonna take all of this. It's gonna take less, but we need to get this above the blades of my Vitamix so that it actually blends. And this is what it looks like. We're just using half of this, and we will be using, I'm just going to be putting the other half in the fridge and using it later, or I might freeze it. Just get a start on that now, if it will fit. We'll take care of it in a sec. So, did you know that peanuts are a legume? So basically, we're making a bean soup. So President Carter was the first president that I was conscious of because he came into the presidency. I think was it 1978, 8 to like 81, I think. And I was born in 1971, so I didn't know Nixon. Also, here my dad was like a Republican, so he complained about Carter a lot, and he used to, I don't know, say that he talked a lot about him being a peanut farmer, like that was a problem. But and that's one of the reasons why I was like, oh, I'm gonna make peanut soup, to celebrate him. He was a peanut farmer in Georgia. His family, they were peanut farmers, and I guess he had a really strict upbringing. Um, they were really religious, and his dad, was on them a lot. And he was very responsible and expected to be humble. And I think that's where he got a lot of character. Um, and he and Rosalind ran that farm as well. Um, and one of the things that, so did you know that when they got married, Rosalind said that she didn't know how to cook, that he actually taught her how to cook. And they ate like really healthy things, like from the farm, and the vegetables and the animals, unfortunately, that they raised. But it was very wholesome. And she eventually cooked, but they still shared cooking duties. Like he did half the cooking and she did half the cooking. And she said that when they were on the campaign, it was tough because they didn't get very good food. So they would meet when they got back home to Georgia, Plains, Georgia, they would rush to the store and get veggies and all that stuff. Just like how Mike and I do when we're on the road, like when we're like, when we have to travel, God, it's so hard on my gut. I know, I can't wait, to get like the veggies and stuff that I love that are so good. Um, but when they did move into the White House, they had, I think, like four chefs, and um, but they still ate very simply, except for when they were entertaining, um, like diplomats and stuff. I they didn't have like the sauces and everything. They just kept their food real simple, except those times when they were entertaining, and that's the only time that they actually drank wine. And so they were very, very healthy. And Rosalind was very concerned. Sorry, lost my train of mind, or is that my thought? My mind train left the depot.
No.
so, so Rosalind was very, very suspicious of, let's not make you fall this time, of ultra processed foods. She was very suspicious of additives and all of that. And so that was so in both her and Carter. The reason why I'm saying Rosalind is because there was a journalist. I'm here. 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 Okay. So I'm looking at notes. There was a journalist from Food and Wine. She was a food and nutrition reporter. Her name was Marion. Well, they probably said Marion Burroughs at the time, but it's probably Marion Burroughs. She wrote an article in 1978 exploring Carter's eating habits and policy stances. And we're going to put some peanut butter in here now. I think it's time. And and that's where I'm getting my information. There's not a lot of information about this kind of stuff, but that's where I'm getting it from that that reporter. And so yeah, they were very concerned about bad food getting into our food systems, ultra processed food, and all of that. And I know the U.S. dietary guidelines came out in 1981, or like where in 1980, during that administration, and it might have been influenced by that. Like I said, there's just that article that I can find, but it was not popular. Her view on her skepticism about the ultra processed foods was met with controversy because um, the big industry monsters um, who, I don't know who they were at the time, Kraft or whatever. I know I'm not going to say anything. I don't have insurance. But I don't know who they were at the time. But, whatever came out of the White House affected their bottom line. Like whatever opinions or policies, it affected them. Hi, Chris. How are you? Oh, message. Retracted by people. Retracting messages. Okay, so I put the peanut butter in there. And now I'm going to put in a little bit of yogurt, this plant-based yogurt. So you could say that the Carter administration was the first Maha. You could say that. They were Maha before Maha was Maha. So I put in, I think, a quarter of a cup of yogurt. This stuff is so good. And you want to make sure that you use unsweetened yogurt. This is just, all it is organic coconuts. And that's it. And it's cultured. Oh, there's a little bit of tapioca to thicken it. Probiotic culture. And this is looking really good. It's looking really thick. We might need to add some more water. Hey, Chris, what were you saying? You retracted your message. Let's try this. Trying to clean off my spoon. Okay. Got the coconut in it. Oh, it's so good. But it's getting too thick already. We need more water. It's surprisingly good. It's just so good. So good and simple and comfortable, comfy food and vegan and rich. Need some more salt. And it's very savory too. You don't want to make this with Jif. You want to make this with natural peanut butter. Just like what they would have had in Colonial Williamsburg at the turn of the 18th century. Turn of the 18th century? Yeah. Around that time. Around the time of the revolution. Okay, I'm gonna blend it. Now, my little gizmo here won't reach this stove, unfortunately. I don't think it will. Nope. And so I need a trivet. And I need to move it over here. So we can blend this. Whoops. Do that in a second. I'm turning this burner off. And we need to get started on our apples. But I have a mess because I'm not cleaning as I go because that would be boring to watch, wouldn't it? I love peanut butter. But we do need to move all this out of the way. I wish I had an assistant. I try and think about, like, when I do these cooking shows, I try to think about things that, I could kind of put together pretty easily, like just live on camera. But sometimes that don't require like a lot of cleaning. But gotta get the onion off of this because we're going with the apples. Okay, so it's just me and my husband. Let me get another. We're gonna use this cutting board because the one that I've been using has onion on it. And it's kind of hard to get the onion flavor off of a cutting board. So I'll blend the peanut soup in it a little bit, but we're gonna cut up some apples and get to frying apples. Taking all 4 of them. Oh yeah, check on these. We have our beautiful roasting fennel and shallot with a little thyme, a little green chili. Like, now we're gonna just cook these for another 25 minutes without the cover. And we're still and the sweet potato is still in there. It needs to cook for about an hour. We'll check it in 20 minutes. Uncovered this time. Okay, back to our apples. So, and like I mentioned before, I was gonna do fried apples and fried dates. I thought that would be really good with some maple, but I forgot to get the dates at the store. So I'm gonna do something weird and do cherries with the apples. We just want, we're not dicing them. We're just making like little wedges. I know it's kind of in the dark. So how's everybody doing tonight? Are y'all safe from the fires and everything? I have some friends who had to evacuate. It's just terrible. I used to live in California. I used to live, well, I live in the valley, but as a Gen Xer kid, when I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13 maybe, I would go to Palisades, go to the beach by myself with my friends, coming from the valley because that was the only bus route to the beach. My parents had no clue what I was doing. So I'm not going to say I know it well, but it is part of my nostalgia. You know what? I was gonna do 4, but I think this will be enough. I actually think this will be enough for Mike and I. So they're so good. You can use Honeycrisp or Gala. Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's a good thing that because I don't have a bigger pan, so it's a good thing I chose less apples. So I'm just gonna get the pan hot. Get my plant-based butter out. Just using about this much. We're gonna be using some cinnamon and cardamom, a little bit of salt, a little bit of salt, cherries, and maybe even walnuts. Walnuts sound good, don't they? You see what I'm doing? So I got the peanut butter soup. What goes well with peanut butter? Apples. So I'm making fried apples with it. What goes good with apples? Fennel. So I'm roasting some fennel and shallots. And what goes good with all of that? What goes good with apples and peanut butter and fennel and all of that? Sweet potatoes. So that's why and also the sweet potato is like I was just gonna do the roasted fennels and shallots, but I was like, no, we need a starch or we need some grains or something. And I'm not a big fan actually of making grains. I just find them to be a pain in the butt. And I don't really like them that much. I have my grains in the morning. Like every morning I eat oatmeal or grits. Um, and that's when I get my grains. I I don't I'm not supposed to have gluten. So I don't do like whole wheat. That I don't do whole wheat. Um, grains are the thing that I kind of struggle with getting, I guess, enough of. We're gonna put in some maple syrup. Malts. You can use different spices for this. I happen to really like cardamom, and I think it goes really well with apples. But you can use like nutmeg or clove or just a little bit, like a nutmeg, clove, and ginger. Check, make sure my fly was down. Okay, so we're gonna throw the apples in here. I got it too low. We're gonna make it a little higher. I'm gonna put in about half a teaspoon of cinnamon because I really like cinnamon. Pinch the cardamom because a little cardamom goes a long way. Chop up some walnuts, just a little bit. I'm gonna put those in right now. Oh, it smells so good. And while that's happening, we're going to blend our using this attachment. Probably should use. Oh, we need salt for that too. Just a pinch of salt. That fun. I made this really good. Okay, that's good. Oh, yummy. You know what would be good with it? You know, I keep saying keep it simple, but it would actually, oh, it would actually be good with some potatoes in it if you wanted to. Hi, Stevie. This is Karen from Colorado. Love your videos. Thank you. Hi, Karen. Kathy Norris, I love watching your channel so very much. I absolutely love the person that you are. Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you for supporting me. I I hang on that. I it keeps me going, Kathy. Okay, so now I keep okay. So I'm frying some apples. We got some apple wedges in here. They're flying all over the place with a pinch of cardamom, some walnuts, and cinnamon. And I had it browned a little bit because I was so busy cooking I was so busy blending the soup that I kind of, yeah, not good to have divided attention. That's not a good ingredient when you're cooking. I'm not very good with divided attention, actually. That's like one of my things. But when you make videos, your attention is actually divided because you are filming and cooking. And yes, I burned these a little bit. Oh well, it is what it is. Just will cool it off. I'm gonna put cherries in it. These are my favorite things in the world. These dark sweet cherries. Ah, I love them so much. They are so good. I love them in my overnight oats. I just love them like right out of the box. Mm. They're like my candy. So everybody who is new here or who hasn't been who didn't start with me like an hour ago, I'm celebrating President Carter by making peanut soup, which I made back here, and just making a meal that pairs with it. Um, Burning apples. That was not my intention. It's okay if I desecrate the apples. This is not for Washington. This is for Carter. Mm, needs maple syrup though. Um, Putting a little bit of maple, probably about a tablespoon in there. I turned it down lower. So I have fennel and shallots roasting in the oven. That was hot. And they're going to go over sweet potato. I got any kind of sweet potato will work. I got murasaki sweet potato, like a Japanese sweet potato, um, which I think is so tasty. It tastes like chestnuts. Have you ever had chestnuts? They're so good. Oh, thank you. Level 5 vegan. She says, I don't know. What a cool way to celebrate President Carter. The memorial was so moving today. You know what? I missed it. I heard some about, I mean, I heard um Garth Brooks and what's her name? Sing Imagine. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Um, I'm so glad to know that it was one of his favorite songs because Imagine is definitely one of my favorite songs. It's right up there with Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery. You didn't know I was singing tonight, did you? Okay. Yeah, these I kind of got them a little brown, but it's okay. Mmm, they're so good. I think I think I'm just gonna put a little bit of sugar because I feel like it will kind of stick to the apple better. If that makes sense. I'm just putting about this much sugar into there and mix it all up. This is what it's looking like. Yum, yum, yum. Cherries and apples and walnuts and cinnamon and cardamom. Yum. And here is our roasted shallots and fennel. Ooh, that looks good. I actually should have went in there. Kind of, we got some caramelization, oh, some browning, actually. Mm. I hope to watch the repeat of Carter's the memorial tonight. I was just working, so but I'm gonna get this sweet potato out. I think it's done. I think we're all done pretty much. I thank you for hanging out this long. How long has it been? Yeah, an hour and 5 minutes. I thought it was gonna be more like an hour and 20 minutes. So actually doing pretty well. That is if this Murasaki potato is actually done, because it takes a while sometimes. Usually when I make it takes me about 2 hours. Yeah, it's not done. It's not done. Usually I cook it for like 350 degrees for about 2 hours. And then I let it sit in the oven for like an hour and it gets this really great cake-like texture. It's so good. But that wasn't enough. So it needs to go in there. It needs to go in there for like at least a half an hour more. Oh, oh wow. Okay. Well, we got most of it done. We're just gonna put this back in here. We got the cherries and the apples done. We got the, oh, we're not. This is not totally done. I want to put a little bit of balsamic on it. I'm gonna drizzle a little balsamic on this. Also, yeah, that is very thin balsamic, but whatever. Hmm, it's new, so a little balsamic, and then put this back in the oven for like maybe 7 minutes, kind of a random number, and and then we'll be done. We're done. Taste this. It is so good. Put a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, but it's just crazy how good peanut soup is. It's just like a basic peanut soup. It's so good. It's just one of those things. African peanut soup is really good too. It's totally different. African peanut soup, I love making it. I make it all the time. I make one that has, and one is West African, one's East African. One's like a groundnut stew, and I make it with like sweet potatoes and all kinds of spices. It's kind of like a curry. And then there's another one that I make with black eyed peas. I can't remember the name of this stew, like kundi. Jamie Oliver actually did a video. That's where I discovered it. But it's just black eyed peas and black eyed peas, sweet potatoes, and peanut butter. And it's just really, really great combination. Okay. Yeah, so I did leave the recipes down below. I might make a couple adjustments in the next hour or so, but they're there if you want to. Oh, like I left the original recipe. The original. I'll just leave the original fried apple recipe with the dates because I think that's really good. And you want to try, and you should try it. But you should also try it with cherries because it's also amazing. Um, and simple. And with the roasted, I'm just gonna take the sweet potato and put the roasted shallots and fennel over it. But you know what? You can also put this over the sweet potatoes too. Do what you want. Do what tastes good and feels good. But I think all these flavors go together well. And I'm actually going to sign off because it's going to take a long time to get that potato done. But thank you so much for joining me today. I really, really, really appreciate you. If you like this, don't forget to like. You know the whole drill. You know the things that YouTubers say. All that. um, and bye for now. I will take a picture of everything all done and put it in my community post so you can see it. And also stay tuned to a video that I'm gonna my smash burger video, which will be out really soon. It's my In and Out inspired smash taco video. It's not really a smash burger. Thank you, Kathy. She says, have a blessed night. You do too. all of you. Please have the best evening. And I love y'all. Good night.